Good evening. I am the narrator, and welcome to my parlor. Tonight my topic is Forteans answering fundamentalists. Many weigh in on Forteana. Many have for some time, including evangelical Protestants. I'll tell you of my own background. I was born and baptized Catholic, and we attended Mass for my first 5 years. Then my parents became evangelicals, and I was raised one. I recall little of Catholicism, but am well versed in evangelicalism. I have nothing against them or it as such. They are generally decent, not the brown shirts they're at times made out to be. But they have their flaws. The term fundamentalist is often used as a slur, but people respond to terms based on connotation, not definition. In fact, fundamentalism simply stresses the fundamentals, the basics, of a discipline or belief system. Everyone has them. I use it only for ease of reference. Evangelicals are prone to sensationalism and emotionalism. They're not anti-intellectual per se, but they don't promote self-education. This is true of most subcultures, religions, and political affiliations. It's not unique to them, though it does color their views. Evangelicals are hysteria-prone, especially when it comes to popular culture. Music, movies, games, and books are all ploys by Satan to entice youth into the occult. In the 80s, it was Dungeons and Dragons. In the 90s, Magic the Gathering. In the early 2000s, Harry Potter. In the late 2000s, Twilight. I don't practice or even advocate occultism, but real-world magic and pop culture magic are two different things that happen to share a name. One is an elaborate system of psychology, self-exploration, and transformation. The other is a literary device enabling cool things to happen, just as futuristic technology is in space opera. Evangelicals often use terms interchangeably: Gnostic, occult, pagan, New Age. They conflate unrelated things. The prominence of vampires in popular culture means the occult is on the rise. Though vampires are a product of early modern Romanian folklore that soon entered literature and film, they have nothing to do with Neoplatonism, Hermeticism, the mystery cults, or occultism in general. The popularity of paranormal reality shows means the occult is on the rise, though the paranormal and the occult are two distinct subcultures. Paranormal investigators aren't occultists, and most occultists have little interest in the paranormal. They at times use the term spiritualism as a catch-all for any of the above. But spiritualism isn't a generic term. It refers to a distinct pseudo-religion emphasizing the existence of ghosts and ghost communication, popular in Europe and the United States in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Harry Potter can't entice youth into dabbling in the occult. The occult can't be dabbled in casually like marijuana. It must be dedicated to, like any other discipline. Most occult texts are sold only online, not at mainstream bookstores. Teens can't buy them unless they have a credit card or access to their parents. Most are expensive, well out of most teens' budgets. Most are academic in approach, full of dense language and symbols, and refer to distant history and the Hebrew and Latin languages. In short, things intellectually inaccessible to most teens. Moreover, they emphasize concerns most teens lack. What evangelicals call the occult isn't occultism, but a mental image inspired by horror and fantasy films and novels. With this mindset, they approach Forteana. In their reading of the Bible, besides humans and animals, there is only God and Satan, angels and demons. The Bible doesn't say this. In fact, many verses in much Jewish lore suggest otherwise, but they are ignored. Thus, all paranormal entities are either angels or demons. They can only be either. The Bible never says intelligent life exists on other planets. Thus, UFOnauts must be demons posing as extraterrestrials. They promote the belief in aliens to lead people from God and promote evolution. If extraterrestrials exist, creationism is undermined. These demons may even be paving the way for the Antichrist and the one-world government through signs and wonders in the sky. Even the increased public interest in the topic is a sign of the end times. Yet messages to abductees and contactees generally don't promote evolution or deny creation. Few aliens claim to be from other planets, only some in the contactee era. The ETH, extraterrestrial hypothesis, is largely a human interpretation, a projection of our own assumptions. As for the end times, UFOs and aerial entities have been reported throughout history, though interpreted through different cultural lenses. The phenomena is neither new nor increasing. Mass media and global interconnectedness just make it more visible. Public interest has waxed and waned like that of every other topic. It was very popular in the late 40s and 50s, largely as it was then new. It fell into a lull until the late 80s with the rise of abduction claims, and continued through the 90s before fading again in the 2000s. The current interest is a matter of cycles, amplified by increased government acknowledgement. Evangelicals apply the same logic to ghosts. After death, the soul either enters soul sleep, or it awaits either heaven or hell, or goes to their destination immediately. Once it does, it can't contact or be contacted by the living. It can't return to earth to haunt us. Again, the Bible doesn't necessarily say this. Jewish views on the subject changed much over time thanks to outside cultural influences. Christian and Muslim views of the afterlife often conflict with Jewish ones, though few Christians broach the matter. Thus, ghosts can't be human spirits. Again, they must be demons in disguise trying to undermine Christianity. If the dead can float among us, then heaven and hell must not exist, and Christianity must not be true. Again, there are problems, and not just for the reason above. First, ghosts don't communicate. They don't tell us they are human. They simply come and go. As with supposed aliens, we assume they are the dead because they appear to be. But consider this. Many entities, like the Men in Black and Phantom Strangers, look human but aren't. Why assume ghosts are just because they are black and white or see-through, because they peer out of nowhere and fade through a wall? Many entities do so. Recall that supposed ghosts don't resemble anyone the percipient knows, but strangers. They don't necessarily look like deceased residents of the haunted location, as portrayed in art or photos. None of this is to say all entities are positive or to be embraced. Shadow people, black-eyed kids, spirit mimics, poltergeists, and others clearly aren't. Many UFO-nauts, like reptilians, clearly aren't. Nor is this to say that demons don't exist. Possessions and malevolent hauntings happen, though those behaviors are distinct from those of other Fortean entities. It just means the fundamentalist view is very narrow and reductionist. Many evangelicals dismiss the paranormal. Their attitude is that of secular skeptics. This is inconsistent and hypocritical. It makes no sense to believe a supernatural being created the world, that supernatural beings inhabit it, but that claimed interactions with them are simply hoaxes, delusions, or perceptual errors. The line is arbitrary. Often they will use the arguments of secular skeptics, atheists who dismiss Christianity. Their attitudes are similar, invoking science and dismissing the paranormal as unscientific. Again, this is hypocrisy. The same scientists also dismiss intelligent design and creationism, but these people still believe it. They could argue a stopped clock is right twice a day, but that does not impress. My critique is cordial, with an olive branch. I wish the evangelical view would mature so they could offer more to the discussion.